Hey there everybody, I'm Cosmo the Coder and welcome to, well, as you can see there's no actual title to this. I didn't forget this I didn't sort of right click and forget to download the actual image. I haven't put one on here because this week's sort of Humble Bundle is not really the same as any normal Humble Bundle. It's actually a little bit different. This week's Humble Bundle actually came out yesterday, and as part of E3, it's called the E3 2016 Digital Ticket. Essentially, it's a bundle which contains some games, don't get me wrong, it does contain some games. It also contains a lot of add-ons for various, what I believe are free-to-play games. As well as you can see here, a subscription to Twitch Turbo for 30 days. There's a premium license for XSplit for 3 months. There's basically lots of little bits and pieces here and there and everywhere. But I'm not going to review this bundle. Mainly because of the content that's within it is kind of yes, there are games, but there's also a lot of content that I'm not going to easily be able to review, and that's not me necessarily being lazy. I would quite happily go off and research all of the individual add-ons, all the individual sort of programs and things. But what it basically comes down to is that this bundle is quite diverse. Now you could say that that's the same for quite a lot of bundles, but in a sense, it's not even really a bundle of stuff. It's more of sort of a onslaught of sort of content for different things. Now I could tell you, Psychonauts is a good game, especially for the price. Definitely worth a look at. I could say that Grey Goo is fairly good, but beyond that, everything else would be literally comparing the prices and everything to everything else. And pardon me, sorry. Also in the sense that some of the things aren't available to me, like the Amazon coins or this Guns Up starter pack or whatever it is. So, it's difficult to say whether it's worthwhile the money because I can't get some of the stuff. I'm a bit skeptical about the Twitch stuff because, why do you need Twitch Turbo? I know it kind of avoids, what do you call it? It means you basically don't watch ads on Twitch, and you get sort of added bits and pieces like emoticons and chat color options and stuff. So overall, it's not really that tempting to me, and it's one of those things that you need a credit card to activate because it's like Amazon Prime, whatever you call it. You get it for free for a month, and then they hope you forget about it, so they start charging you for it. I don't like that kind of a trap. And the same sort of goes sort of with XSplit in that you redeem it for 3 months, and so you use it for 3 months, you fall in love with it, and then obviously it runs out. So what do? Do you just not play it, not use it anymore, or do you go and buy it? Now I personally prefer OBS, not just because it's free, but also because it's it's quite clean, it's quite nice and everything. Yes, it's not necessarily as intuitive as XSplit, and I have sort of played around with the demo versions of XSplit and seen what it can and can't do, but overall it's not something I'm going to say, wow, I really want this, and I don't want to be sort of tempted by XSplit, only just to sort of say, oh well, there goes my 3 months, I might as well go back to OBS. I've got pretty much anything that's not really a game in this, I've got to some degree, and I'm quite happy with what I've got. But to each their own. If these things appeal to you guys, then I'm happy to say that overall the bundle contains a lot of good stuff. The games themselves are quite good. The add-ons I can't really comment on, but obviously they're for games that are available quite freely to you guys or to anybody, and you're getting access to a few interesting things. But beyond that, I can't really sort of say if it's a good or bad because it's quite a large pack of stuff. It's kind of like what was it? The CryEngine sort of bundle. You're getting all kinds of things for something that you may or may not use. In this case, it's more a case of you're getting add-ons, you're getting games, you're getting subscriptions to things, you're getting a lot of stuff that you may or may not want or use, but it comes down to whether or not you're actually going to want it or not. And while that's kind of the same sort of thing as any other humble bundle, this is kind of a more, well, you only have to sort of see, you get pay for what you want, you get almost, what, I'm speed counting here, 12 things, 13 things here, and then as you go higher and higher, the number of things can fall, and even more content's coming soon. I mean, that's what's crazy about this. It's actually only open for a week, and already it's got a huge amount of stuff in it. So my advice is basically watch it. If you're interested in it, go for it. It does have a sort of a blue tier, which is pay a certain amount for this, but then it has a average price plus $4 or more to unlock stuff. So you kind of have to sort of think, do I go for it now whilst it's fairly low in price, or do I actually go and wait and see what comes out of it? That's not too. It's kind of a difficult choice to make. It's not really one I want to make for you, because I can't honestly say whether it's good or not, other than the games are fairly good, and that's about it. You do get vouchers for it, and for Gang Beasts and Day of the Tentacle Remastered. Again, I'm not one for vouchers, so it is what it is. I can't. I hate it when they do this. I really do, because I can't. I feel I can't sort of say it's a good bundle because of this or a bad bundle because of that. I can't really say either way, because it's kind of it's good for what it is, but only if you like what it is, if you see what I mean. You probably don't, but you're probably saying, shut up, Cosmo, get on with it. Tell us what was in last week's bundle. Which I will do, and at least I can do that for the purpose of this video, So last week, the games were extremely diverse, kind of all over the place and everything, and they have expanded upon it, so at least I can tell you what's in this, what the two games are in last week's bundle. You've got two games, and just noticed I have a bit of funny light. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'll fix that later. One of the lights is too close to the green screen. It's creating a little bit of a glare. Oh, no, it's gone now. No, what was I saying? Oh yes, two new games in the actual bundle. So I'll turn on the ticker down here, and then we'll get on with it. So two games. One is called Sol Axiom. Now, Sol Axiom is by a company called Wales Interactive. Now, the only other thing I know that Wales Interactive created is a game called Master Reboot, which this is kind of almost a spiritual successor to, I suppose, in a way. It kind of follows the same sort of premise. It's $14.99 on Steam, and it's basically a first-person adventure puzzle game where you play within a sort of a cyber world, and you have to solve the mystery of your digital afterlife. So essentially, it's a game where your mind or your soul or whatever you call it is uploaded into a computer system, a sort of computer world, I suppose is a better sort of term for it. It's got multiple endings. It's got quite a good soundtrack, and as you can see from the graphics, it's pretty impressive. But review-wise, you have to be sort of wary of it. It's actually fairly high on Steam, about 88% when I looked, but it's fairly low on Metacritic. It's at 56. The biggest sort of criticism of the game tends to be some technical issues which are occurring, but also that the actual puzzles and the content can be quite dull. Now that's kind of similar to, I suppose, what Master Reboot was like, but I can only really tell you what Master Reboot was like, in that it was a good game. Don't get me wrong, but it was kind of long-winded and repetitive, and the puzzles weren't very, shall we say, interesting. So it kind of follows the same sort of suit, and for what it is, it's worth a play. I think I might actually add this to my Cosmo Tries Games list, but we'll have to see. Really, I'm a bit sort of wary about it. It's kind of a bit, I'm not sure. Kind of the weak point in the bundle, I think, overall. Moving on straight then to Bulb Boy. Now, Bulb Boy is a rather interesting sort of art-styled point-and-click horror adventure game, where you basically play a boy who has a bulb for a head, and you solve puzzles, fight monsters, and sort of discover new abilities to Bulb Boy as you sort of unfold a twisted tale, supposedly. At least that's what the blurb on Steam says. It has got some exceptionally high reviews, 91% on Steam, 84% on Metacritic. It's inspired a lot by Machinarium, or Machinarium, however you want to pronounce it, and Goblins. But beyond that, it's definitely a sort of interesting sort of game in that the mechanic is that you have a light bulb for a head, and then you can take it off and plug it into things and do all kinds of things and light up the scenarios. $5.99 on Steam, not a bad price at all whatsoever. So it's a nice little extension to an already quite interesting bundle, in my opinion. So definitely worth a good little look at. And that is it pretty much for this kind of review video. A short one-ish. I've actually just noticed it's actually 10 minutes long, but hey, actually 11 minutes long. I lie, sorry. But overall, not a bad sort of week in terms of bundles. The E3 stuff's difficult to sort of give a good opinion on, but it's only for a week, and hopefully next week we should have either 1 or 2 brand new bundles to have a look at. That's pretty much it for me, guys, as always. As always, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe for more stuff. I do constantly release playthrough videos of what I'm playing at the moment. I do stream on occasion as well, but you'll have to follow on Twitch and or YouTube to see me find out what I'm streaming as and when, because I can't give you much of a schedule, as I'm quite diverse in everything. I might actually play the the Resident Evil 7 demo, see what that's all about. But that's another kettle of fish whatsoever. Anyway, comment, by all means comment and let me know what you think about bundles or games or anything else for that matter. And I will see you next week for hopefully some more interesting bundles, or bundle. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy gaming.